Greetings to another video, 10 bikepacking tips. These are all based on many mistakes that I've made. I've been on so many amazing bikepacking trips, but I've also messed up quite a few times. I thought you could learn from my mistakes. The first one is ride your bike with all the stuff packed onto it before you go away. I didn't do this when I rode across the Pyrenees. I basically just shoved everything in my bike box, packed it there. I could barely close the bag. And then when I got onto my first climb, I was like, why have I brought so much stuff? It was so heavy. So just test it out before you go. It's not about taking less or taking more. It's more about, are you comfortable with the weight that you're carrying and the setup of it and the weight distribution? So yeah, do that before you go. Second tip, make the days shorter than you think. So if you're comfortable riding, say 50 miles or 50K at home, make them like 40 or even 30, because when you're away and you're doing these bikepacking trips, there is so much kind of faff and admin that you need to do at the end of each ride, whether you're setting up your tent, whether you're cooking, whether you've got to clean the pots, whether you're checking into accommodation, whether you have got to clean your kit, whether you're getting food and stuff for that night and then the next day. I can't be bothered. There's just a lot of admin and stuff that you need to do at the end of each ride, and it can get tiring. If you're riding for the full amount of the day and then you've got to do all that stuff at the end of the day, you're going to be tired. So just take that into consideration and do some shorter days. Carrying on from that, tip number 3 is add in a rest day or just a really short day. This means that you can catch up on sleep, you can catch up on washing your kit, you can catch up on other stuff and bits and bobs that you need. Even if you just want to go and have a walk and you're near a beach and you're like, I just want to spend more time at the beach. I haven't done this on some rides and it does get a bit tiring. I did this in Thailand quite recently and I wish I'd planned it in, but then I made a shorter day on one of the days anyway, because I was like, I just need a bit of an afternoon off. So I had a massage, I had food, and then the next day I just felt amazing again because I had a little bit of time off. So make sure you plan those in. Tip number 4, always carry more food and drink than you think you're gonna need. My friend rode across the Pyrenees and he didn't really plan food and drink stops and he just kind of ran out. And so I always make sure that I've got some kind of backup. So I've got a gel in my front bag and I've always got a little bag of dates. So I always ensure that on any food stuff I've always got more than I think I'm going to need. I mean, I guess that kind of lends itself just to planning a little bit better. So making sure you know where all the food and drink stops are. But then yeah, just make sure you've got a nice little snack if you need it. A guy that I know bonked so bad on a ride, he ended up, it's really gross. He just picked up he found a sachet of ketchup on the floor. He was really struggling and ate that as kind of like a gel. I guess it's kind of like a gel, but I mean, I don't really fancy doing that. But yeah, don't do that. Make sure you've got enough dates, snacks, gels, whatever you need. Tip number 5, okay. I planned a lot for all my trips. I plan routes, I plan accommodation, I plan so many things in. This one, I did not. And that was having the right maps on my Garmin. I didn't realise until I was in Thailand, I was like, oh, I don't have the right maps. And so luckily for me though, on the Garmin Edge 1050, you can actually upload the maps in the unit, but I know a lot of different devices you need to plug into a computer. And so yeah, that's just something that was very simple that I could have done at home before I went, and I didn't. I just completely forgot. So yeah, make sure you have done that. I also know Julia Elliott, she's done that also. It's just a very silly thing to not think. I think it's because you don't have to think about it. Like with routes, I had all the routes on there, but you don't always have to change the map. So yeah, just make sure you got the right maps. Talking of Julia brings me on to tip number 6. Make sure you've got clothing for all weathers, generally. Because when we went up to Arran, we did some bikepacking there and it looked like it was going to be cold. And the week up, it looked very chilly, it looked quite cold, and because we were going to be camping, I was like, I'm going to be chilly. So I just took all warm stuff, I took all winter stuff. And then when we got there, it was baking hot sunshine and I had nothing. And I was like, Juliet, please, do you have anything that I can wear? It was not the forecast. I checked and it said it was going to be cold and a little bit windy and potentially rainy. But I kind of am, because all I've got is this and I'm going to sweat. We're now getting a t-shirt for me to wear from Juliet.
Which I don't think I've got.
Oh, stop. Is it a vest?
You can wear the vest, but I haven't got the t-shirt.
Yeah, I'll just go for the vest. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
7 mesh, thank you. For having, have you got enough to wear?
Oh yeah, I've got too much to bloody wear.
Oh, actually, they're really handy. And I actually ended up wearing cycling the first day in just some shorts that I'd got for sleeping in. and she lent me a vest top very kindly, but I wish I'd just she had lots of different layers, so I think layers is a really good way of doing that. Sorry, the sun's back. Tip number 7 is being too rigid with your plan. I have done this. I'm like, no, this is the plan, I'm gonna stick to it. However, the 2 times that I've changed, I did it on the Dolomites trip and I also did it in Thailand. I ended up changing my route round. Do you know what? It was the best decision because it meant that I did 2 different climbs that I wasn't expecting to do. Specifically the one, I say Dolomites, it wasn't, it was kind of near Stelvio. That was Gavia Pass, and honestly I had no plan to do it, and I'm so glad I did it. That is in my top 3 climbs that I've ever done. It was beautiful, it was long, it was a little bit steep in one little section, it was really rugged. The view at the top was just absolutely phenomenal, so I'm so glad that I changed the route and was able to do that climb that I'd not really planned on doing, because sometimes the unexpected things are the most fun and the most enjoyable. So yeah, definitely don't be too rigid with your plan. Leads me on to tip number 8, which is kind of talking about planning. Yes, don't be too rigid, but equally have a plan. Like, I'll show you my spreadsheet of how I plan these trips and bikepacking trips. So I have like a day, how far I've got, what distance that is, where I'm staying, and potential food and drink stops on that day. It's also important to kind of work it out of what days. So for example, if you're in France, like nothing really opens on Sunday. So you've got to factor that in like the night before, making sure you've got enough food for that whole day if you need it to be. So just have a good plan, but don't be too rigid. I guess that's not something that I've made the mistake of, not on a bikepacking trip anyway. I've definitely not eaten and drank enough on rides before. I remember a friend like shoving a Cliff Bar in my mouth. It's like, Katie, you need to eat. And I'm like, I'm not hungry. I don't need it. And he's like, yeah, you do. You're grumpy. Like, you're practically crying on this climb. Like, so just make sure you eat and drink enough. Tip number 9 is not enjoying it. Like, I think so many of I am definitely guilty of this mistake. Yeah, going on these trips and just feeling like it's the next thing, the next food stop, when's the next thing, and you're just kind of looking for the next thing and not necessarily enjoying the moment of why you're there. Because why we go bikepacking is because we love riding our bikes, right? And I think that I've learnt that specifically the last couple of trips, just to kind of slow it down, take my time, enjoy stopping. Like, one of my favourite memories, I'm kind of leaning over here because of the sunshine. One of my favourite trips was the Pyrenees, where I'd taken pizza from the night before and I'd carried it up this climb, and I just sat on this mountainside looking at these beautiful switchbacks, just eating my pizza. And that is honestly one of my favourite memories that I've got of any of my bikepacking trips, because it was just like slowing it down, not thinking about the next thing, just being in that. It sounds a bit cliche because everyone's talked about, isn't it? Like be present, like be in the moment. But yeah, that for me was like, yeah, just so amazing. So yeah, just take your time and remember why you're doing it. I'm gonna have to get really close for this one. Did you hear my chair squeaking again? Because the sun is, look, watch. Do right. Right, tip number 10. I wasn't going to add this one in, but I am, because I almost got rid of it. And this is one of the most important things you can take. I am going to do a video on bikepacking if it's your first bikepacking trip, and what to do, what to expect, all that kind of stuff. But this is one essential piece of kit that you have to take. And it's like a little, like, I don't even know what it is. I'll show you a video of it. A little musette bag. A musette, or like a little drawstring bag. And yeah, like I said, I almost got rid of it on the Pyrenees trip. But this is essential for carrying enough food and water and drinks and things from either the shop, the supermarket, back to your wherever you're staying, or to your campsite or wherever you're gonna camp. It just adds that extra bit of space that you might not get in a saddle bag or something like that. It's just amazing. So always just take one of those. And I only say this because I almost threw it away and I would have kicked myself, and I've used it so many trips since. I absolutely love it. So you can get that, or Apogora do a really nice, really small one. Doesn't fit as much in it, but they are so handy to have. So yeah, always keep one of those. All right, if you've got any questions about bikepacking at all, leave them in the comments and I will catch up with you next video. Also, if you want to have a look at any of the bikepacking trips that I've done, I will leave a link to some of the videos that I've done. I've done the Pyrenees, I've done the Dolomites, I've done the Alps, I've done Thailand, done Arran with Juliet. All right, I'll see you all soon. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. This is telling me it's gonna be shorts weather soon. It's gonna be bib shorts, it's gonna be short sleeves, it's gonna be sweating in the hills, although before that, it is very bright. I'm going somewhere very cold. Not riding bikes, but you'll see that in like a couple of weeks. All right, see you soon.